Hello and welcome to Fuller Lives. Today I have with me a legendary person, a man who has an illustrious career of being into academics for almost 45 years. He is none other than my school principal and a leader, academic leader of Karthika High School, Father Nelson Pereira. So Nelson Pereira sir, welcome to Fuller Lives. Pleasure having you on the eve of Makar Sankranti. Sir, my first question to you is, you were in your priestly studies, you were a father in a church, and then you decided to change tracks, and then you became a teacher, then you became a principal of a school, and for many years you were the principal. So tell us what brought you into academics.
It's a very important question. From the priestly training years, because they were years of discipline, of character, of worth, of intensity, of thinking, and when I think, when I teach or talk to others, they must be awed or wowed by me, is what that ideal kept me going, and therefore I thought education would be the only way out, in fact, the way out of transforming my life into somebody else's life. And it is therefore the relationship in education, the leadership in education is a transformation of the educator into and for the educated. Educated is the target, the goal, the prime objective of Nelson Pereira as an educator. And from then on, I carried on, no looking back, and I went on and on. I never realized, my good friend Arun, that I was covering up almost half a century. I could not believe that.
Exactly.
And that is giving me a joy, joie de vivre as we call it. I love that phrase from French. Giving me joie de vivre to make others' lives a joie de vivre, their lives. That is from my priesthood into education. I hope I have done justice to the first question you asked.
Exactly, sir. Let me tell you, my audience, my viewers, Nelson Pereira sir has shaped thousands of life, and I being the one, he has shaped my life too. Today, I can speak a wonderful English. The credit goes to him. And let me tell you, sir is about to become 80 years old. But let me tell you, age is just a number, and this is what sir has proved. Even at this age, sir spends considerable time in learning, in educating himself, in reading. Sir is learning Latin at this age, though it's a dormant language, but sir is finding a lot of meaning into this particular language, sir. Sir, my next question to you is what is education according to you?
In my view, education, my good friend Arun, comes, and rarely people who are into education know what I'm saying just now to you. Education comes from two Latin words, educere and educare. Educere is, and very, very poignant words, that is, educere simply means leading someone with whom the learned interacts with, leading someone from a kind of an ordinary life. God has given everybody a shape of life, but it is amorphous, basically. And in time to come, when the educated leadership in education for that matter, leaders in education transform, mobilize, and shape, and this process of shaping and transforming is a permanent, there is a non-stop permanent process. It never stops. Unfortunately, in today's situation which I see, it is merely, some people say, I am an educated guy. What do they mean by saying I'm an educated guy? They mean I have acquired hundreds and thousands of degrees. Oh my God. My good friend Arun, degrees is merely a formal education which is a step towards really being a transforming educator. And the educator is not for himself, but he is for the other. If he is just imparting knowledge and not a direction and not shaping the person's conduct, the rights, the sense of morality, the sense of ethics. If education becomes merely a sterile kind of a situation, that is not education. And my view is therefore, if an educator, a real good educator, actually fails, and who will tell him he is a failure? It is the society and it is the student. The student is the best judge of an educator.
Exactly.
So, if he has failed, there he is no educator. Therefore, this is the negative. The positive is to shape and guide and mold and send the person into life. He needs to be a living a masterpiece of a human being whom God himself intended him to be. And the educator is the priest, if I may call it, is the priest, the middleman between God and the person called student. So the student benefits, the student is shaped, and that is what I understand as real, true meaning of leadership in education. He is a good leader. He is a real good educator, not just teaching maths, science, all these subjects. No, my dear good friend Arun, but he, through his personality, he impinges his own personality onto that person, and he makes him who he is, what he should be. And that person, called a student, in response says, "Sir, thank you so much. You have given me a reason to live, a reason to survive, and reason to go forward and take on careers, take on other professions, whatever my profession, my choice of my profession is, according to my understanding." So this is my view of education per se.
Simply great. The message is truly phenomenal. So you were the principal of a reputed school in Kurla, Karthika High School. You were the principal of school as well as you started the junior college in Karthika High School, sir. So tell us about your experience of being at the helm of the affairs as the principal of a school, what changes you brought, how you benefited 5,000 plus students in school and faculties and staff. What change you all brought as a leader of that institution, if you can elaborate.
Thank you, Arun. Strangely, as they say, God writes straight in crooked lines. In my life, it was a straight in crooked lines what God wrote. It is from the priesthood into education. It is from the ICSE school in Kolaba, Scholar High School for that matter. I was literally like Habakkuk in the Bible was lifted by the hair of his head and said, God took me in a place where I did not know where I was and what I was doing. But there was an ulterior motive in the mind of the Lord. I praise God Almighty for not revealing to me at that moment, because human brains and human understanding is limited. But God has an ulterior motive. And therefore, He lifted me up from an ICSE school, a very reputed school per se by itself. And I was wondering why? because I was needed in a school in Kurla, namely Karthika High School, Mr. Arun, which was very seriously and honestly, I'm tempted to say, was in the doldrums, so to speak, a challenge. In the very first year, I did not know where I was. There were times when I was almost threatened to out of my life, as it were. But I withstood the tide of opposition because they did not want discipline, which is the hallmark and characteristic of good education of everybody, of the principal, the teachers, the students, the society around. They are outside, of course,
yes.
but the society within. He is supposed to take on the helm of affairs, and no looking back. And I went on and on until I had to achieve a mark of quality, of respect. And as I said earlier, there was no respect. I'll give you an instance, my good friend Arun. When boys of yesteryears who seemed to have passed out from the school and not junior college at that time, but from the passed out, and they came and told me, Mr. Nelson Pereira, we are surprised that you have come here. Why? Because principals in your place prior to your seat there have all gone weeping and crying and moaning, and they never were able to steady the thing. I heard it, my good friend Arun, and I said, this is a challenge. I will take it up, notwithstanding all these situations. Yes, situation. The teachers, many of them, several of them, they do not know what teachership is all about. They just came for pastime, unfortunately. But they gradually, slowly had to
improvise themselves and
improve and take the school forward, or else even their teachership might have had a setback. I was even threatened at times to that effect, but I withstood the tide. As I said, I was bold and daring, and I thought God was with me. The society may not be with me. I don't know from where I got this extra elan, the understanding within me to take this thing forward, because I wanted to be an educator, to change, to transform the lives of people. And that is, in summary, what education is all about. It's not about textbooks. It's not about curriculum. It's not about examination. It's not about degrees. No, Mr. Arun. Yes, it is there. They are there. They are good as a footstool. But if the students are not transformed into another life, and they are happy. By the way, I think I transgressed. I went off the point. Let me come back to that. Those students were telling me that there is no college in Ghatkopar, for that matter, who will recognize that they are Karthika school students passed out. They said, the message was, they did not say directly to them, but the message was, sorry, your Karthika school, there's no place for you. It made me, it shattered me. And again, the whole thing is, I took up this challenge. Students are bemoaning within. The society wants me to take up something for the first time and make a different Karthika High School and Junior College. And by the grace of God, it has been acclaimed that Nelson Pereira made a difference in Karthika High School, and I established the Junior College given this opportunity, the management helped me. The management said, "Go ahead, Nelson. We will support you. It's a good idea." And from there, I never looked back. For about 14, 18 years, I was there, and I finished with some kind of a glory, some kind of, and I was filled with gratitude. Doesn't matter. I don't want gratitude in terms of money and reward. Doesn't matter. I don't want flowers and tangible result, tangible prizes. No. If a student says, "I have been an improved guy, you have tuned me up, you have molded me, you have shaped me," through the teachers, of course, I am ever so grateful to the school. I salute that school to this day, Karthika High School and beloved Junior College. That I don't know whether I have answered your question.
I think you have answered the question. Sir was the principal of Karthika High School and Junior College for almost 18 years, and Sir really transformed that school. I remember Sir is a strict disciplinarian even at this age, and whenever he used to come out of his office, and we students were very small at that time, we used to run away in our classes when he used to come in the corridor. So it was pleasure being a student under your principalship. But of course, as Sir said, when you come at the helm of the affairs, there are opposition from all shades of this section, and you have to quell them. And Sir really did a good job, and he really transformed Karthika High School, and the product of Karthika High School is seated in front of you.
Nobody likes interrupting. Nobody likes discipline. Nobody likes correction.
But I think it's
needed, of course, for heaven's sake.
It's needed, and sometimes as being a principal, you have to bring discipline and see that everybody is in the same boat, and you exactly did it. So my next question to you is that what motivates you when you see a student?
What motivates me when I see a student? A very, very touching question, meaningful question, a poignant question. A student, it's like saying, no, I see a student, has he or she been shaped and molded through education system, by an educator, a set of educated people, or they have just been there spending a few years, spending some time, examinations, etc., all that which goes into the rut of being a student. But a student, what makes me, your question is a very beautiful question. What ideas fill your mind, rush into you, as you say, as I said, when you see a student? I saw so many students today here in your college, and I honestly wonder, and I'm beginning to say this: will they be in future men and women of worth, men and women of character? Am I seeing that girl? Am I seeing that boy? Is he going to reflect in a few years' time, whenever he is into some office, into some profession of his career? Is he making a difference to his? Is he shaping the work before him into a product that will be acceptable? Or is it just a person who is, I'm talking about the student, or just a person who is doing a 9 to 4 job? No, my good friend Arun. 9 to 4 job, no doubt, because you get to have your salary from that, etc. But have you delivered well? Have you related to with people well? Have you made a difference to a good friend of yours? Or you just gone down the drains with some kind of, everybody is not a good friend. There are some I'm sorry to say, not so good friends, and there are just chalti ka naam gaadi friends. Comme si, comme ça is the French. It's just so, not so good, not so bad. But is he, directly now to answer your question, is he a man and woman of worth and character? Is he a person to be saluted and respected? Will he make a good husband? Will she make a good wife? Because after their marriage, if there is a marriage, they will in turn pass on the baton on to their children. This is what education has made them. If I see a student, I see all this happening. I don't know whether I have said this.
You have answered my all questions, and thank you audience, thank you viewers for watching this wonderful conversation, sir. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. On this Makar Sankranti day, you have come all the way from Malad at SQSOMA College to benefit our audience, our student. Thank you so much for watching Fuller Lives. Please listen to whatever message Nelson Sir has given it. Try to imbibe it in your life and be an excellent person. That is the message sir wants to give. Thank you so much.